today we have the real deal on the show. From self-tape to stardom, from running around in some crazy rodeos in America's backyard on the countryside to being in a movie with, I don't know, a plethora of Academy Award winning actors and, you know, battling them down with a magnificent performance, being on Netflix, being on a red carpet now. And that transformation is so beautiful. It's the American dream. It's the dream of entertainment industry. And like entertainment industry wants us to be, crazy, unpredictable, and totally surprising every second of our lives. You know, things happening all the time, especially when you're in Hollywood. So this is a slightly different open class doodles, because my man that I have here as my guest today, Will Roberts, is of course in between takes, in between auditions, in between one set and the other, as you would someone who is successful in Hollywood wish him to be. So therefore, let's welcome him directly from his car after the intro. Open class doodles 718 tactical doodles for success today, showing you the process, how to get from self-tape to stardom. So let's see what's cooking. Yes, and we talk about this a lot, right? Over here at the Coach MC studio, on our website, on all these beautiful platforms that we entertain, that, you know, it's sometimes just a game of patience. Sometimes it's a game of finding the right niche, the right crack in the wall and inserting yourself in there. Be like water, my friend, like Shifu Lee always used to say, and then finding, and of course, taking advantage of that fraction of time, of that opportunity that shows up, of that window that finally is open, and making the best out of it. Like my today's guest that we had many times on the show already. Also my documentary. What can I say? I kind of like this guy. He sticks with you, right? You can live without him. So let's give him a warm round of applause. Featuring right now, also in the movie Oppenheimer, here on my show, Open Class Doodles 18, with the legendary Will Roberts. Welcome, sir.
I'm doing my round of applause. First of all, I do have to apologize because my original intent was to be, can you hear me okay?
Sure. Yeah, works
well.
My
original intent was to be in Hollywood, where I'm heading, because I've got 2 red carpets tonight for the Academy Awards and unfortunately, as I told you, you know, hey, it's an actor's life. You know this one as well, if not better than me, that I got up. I'm driving to take my kids to school. I come back home and all of a sudden I look and on the power lines and I see this explosion and I'm like, whoa. So I pull over and I call 911. I go, I just saw power cords explode. And anyway, so it turns out that our power is off. And it'll be off for the next 5 hours, if not more.
Of course.
Meantime, I've got to shave. I've got to get cleaned up.
What do you mean you shave? You look fantastic. You look like a baby poo-poo.
But that's because I literally had to warm up. I literally did a campfire outside of my barbecue, heating up water, and I'm doing a sponge bath like a duck.
For how many years do we know each other now? For how many years are we? I don't know. It's like 8 years.
It's been a long time.
8 years? You've been already on the documentary. We've been way before. Like you were in the beginning of our channel. You were actually, I think, the first guest that we had on Talks on Acting, like ever.
Too.
Yes.
On my Acting Up radio.
Wow, true. That's a long time.
That was a while ago.
And nothing has changed. He looks amazing as always. He is outgoing. He has an incredible energy. He's taking care of a million things at the same time. He's a magician, guy. He's an illusionist, right? Maybe you see him sitting in the car, but he's not sitting in a car. Maybe you hear him talking, but he's not talking. Maybe he's acting, but he's not acting. It's just Will Roberts. How are you, sir? And we, of course, this is Hollywood Live. So Will has not much power today in his cell phone. Things are, as you can hear, crazy over here. And so first of all, thank you so much for nonetheless the chaos, and also, of course, the things that you have to do today that are pretty important. Taking your time to be on the show and kind of sharing your value with the creative community. We really, really appreciate it.
Well, I want to start off by saying that number one, yeah, we've known each other for a long time. You and your lovely wife, and I knew you when you were in, back in what is it, Germany, doing your
Germany.
series,
Yes.
and then coming here, and
Hmm.
we've worked with each other,
Yes.
and I've on some of the things you're collaborating, and I just want to say, and remember in San Diego, I was teaching a self tape thing or
Right.
something.
The comedy club about a boom, the king of
Yeah,
comedy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
We went down
yeah,
there with you. Yeah, yeah. We shot a video. It was nice video. Yes.
absolutely. And
Great
so
night. Great night.
I
Great people.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I really appreciate what you do, because you know what? In the industry, as well as I do that there's a lot of pitfalls, first of all.
Hmm.
People always ask me, they go, "What's your advice about becoming an actor?" And I go, "Don't." Anyway, but if you're going to, you have to realize that there are a lot of people, especially nowadays, because you and I have been doing this a long time.
Yes,
And
sir.
nowadays, you know what? You can't flip up on your Instagram and see, 25 people saying, "I'm going to show you how to be a star." But I have to say that you have really, in my opinion, all of the stuff about motivation, about acting, about making a plan. You
Hmm.
really have a very good product. And
Thank you, sir.
here's the biggie. You've done this. It's not like you're going like, yeah,
True, true,
I've
true.
done a couple
Yes.
of independent films. I mean, you're a
Yes.
successful on-screen, television star.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so it's great
Yes.
that
No,
you're
but
doing this.
let it, this is also what I feel, what my first question would be sometimes. If you are in this industry a lot and for a long time and have collected so many also diverse type of experiences, also like you, right? It's pretty much nothing, ladies and gentlemen, that Will Roberts is not capable of doing. He's a better breakdancer than kids on the street. At the same time, he plays magic. Like, so it's nothing that he can, right? So everything is achievable. So you're for me, you are the perfect blueprint, the picture book blueprint of the adaptable, creative warrior, of the actor that does it his way, that nonetheless will pave his way. And you've proven that to be also true. Like being in this movie now, coming from such a long history also of auditioning and everything. Don't you feel it sometimes? How do you motivate yourself? Because sometimes you face people in the casting director's office and they're not even as experienced, not on that level on stage that you have been. It's like, how can I communicate here without sounding condescending or being standoffish to what they're kind of trying me to give here? How do you balance that?
Well, one of the things I think your first part of this question was, how do I motivate myself
Yes.
each day? And I have to tell you that I quickly, I mean, I'm one of those people that woke up when I was born and went, I think I'm going to be an actor or a performer. I want
Mm-hmm.
to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel lucky with that, but I also
Mm-hmm.
kind of a curse, because it's the only thing that I've really ever wanted to do. And I've never
Right.
said to myself that age old adage of, I'm going to give myself 10 years in LA, and if I don't
Yeah.
make it, I'm going to become a
Right.
real estate person. But
Right.
how I've become so motivated and energetic about what I do is purely two things. Number one is I can't see myself doing anything else. And I've decided that there is no compromising. And the other thing is that I learned all the skills so I wouldn't have to be a waiter, because I'm really unorganized that way.
Yes.
And then finally, the last point on that is that I love the game. And
Mm-hmm.
I got to be honest with you, if you don't love the game and you can't disconnect yourself from the rejection, go
Mm-hmm.
work at Starbucks or go get a real job,
Mm-hmm.
because
That's an
this
incredible
is something.
humbleness. Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, the thing is that when we do this and they go, "Oh yeah," you go into people go, "How do you survive the auditions?" And I go in, I do my thing, dance monkey dance, and then I leave and I forget about it.
Is it like
And
this? We're just court jesters. Is it in the end? Is it that? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. And
well,
that's okay
it
to
is. I
accept
mean,
the
we are.
role.
Yeah,
To
I
accept,
mean, we're not really hired all the time to jump around and entertain the king and the queen,
sure.
but you have to find a way of keeping yourself sane in this
Hmm.
business. And I say that it is the process of doing it and going, oh, this is possible. Oh, I could do this. And I'm a character actor. So I go, oh, if I could change myself this way, this will be fun. It becomes your, in essence, sort of your performance outlet. And I spent 35 years in theater.
Sure.
So
when you played now this like real character that was historically also accurate, right? That was there already. Like, was it interesting to reduce the manifold will that usually kind of appears and kind of bring him into a bit more of a condensed shape?
Yeah. When I got the interesting story about Oppenheimer is that, you know, I've been doing this for a long time, and I know that, first of all, if you see in your breakdowns, your auditions, you get an audition from a gentleman by the name of John Papsadera, you go, oh, because John's Westworld, John's 1883, John's Yellowstone. John is, when you see John's
big
stuff,
shows with a lot of budget.
He's the in my opinion, he's the casting god. So I saw this come through, but I'll skip forward to the end of it and tell you that my agent, Mike Gerard, bless his heart, he passed away 2 days before I got the role. So I was very upset by that. But it also threw me into a tizzy because I couldn't get the audition in, because you as actors can't go, well, here you go, John, here's my audition. You go through your agent. So I was very excited to see this, but it originally on my my breakdown and my information and my fake script was called Gadget, which is the original name of Oppenheimer's first A-bomb. And so I saw that and I'm like, Gadget, like Inspector Gadget? And I'm like, what is this? But then I got the role, and when I got it, I saw what they sent me through on the deal memo, and it said it said George C. Marshall. I'm like, I know that name. And then I went Gadget and Marshall, and I went, oh my God, this is Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. Then came what I love, and I know you probably do too, what I love the most about acting. I was a horrible student. I mean, bad. And I'm here to tell you that I have learned more about history and people in my acting than anything. Because when I got Marshall, I called up the Marshall Foundation in not North Carolina, but anyway, in West Virginia. And I said, I'm playing Marshall. And they went, really? So I spent 3 months inundating myself. Videos, audios.
That's good stuff.
I asked questions. I
totally agree. That's the best part about acting, for sure.
Yeah, that's Melissa Davis, the librarian there.
Very smart move also. Fantastic. Very good.
I said, what about this? What would he do here? How would he do this? What's he wear? What's he wear? And I made sure when I walked in that room, because you got to understand, I'm sitting there with Matt Damon, Cillian Murphy, Matthew Modine.
Let's show the picture, because it's quite amazing, right? Where, like, when I saw this the first time, I was like, are you kidding me? The dude is rocking.
Yeah, the shot you're going to be looking at here is really behind the scenes. There's a great DVD that they have, obviously, when you buy the film, right here. And there's like 3 hours of behind the scenes. There's the cinematographer, the gentleman with the long hair in the back.
Yeah, he looks wild. What's his name? What's his name again?
You're killing me. I got it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's an English. It's a European name. Hoyt. And he is amazing. And there's James Remar, who, if you remember your history of film, he did The Warriors. And there's Christopher. And then on my left is Matthew Modine. And you know what? I walked in there,
which I highly admire. One of my favorite actors, Matthew Modine. He's amazing. He
really is. And
look at the dude. Beautiful picture. Man.
And here's the thing you have to really understand. And this is an actor's thing that you need to know. I had a lot of people that were veterans afterwards go, did you get a picture with Matt? Did you get a picture with Killing? Did you get a picture with any of them? And I went, no. Why would I do that? They go, well, look who you're working with. And I went, look who they're working with.
Exactly. These are my colleagues. I am a colleague to them as well. Guess what?
Because, Lorenzo, this is our job. And when you go in there, our job is to be that. And we knew the magnitude. Christopher
Hmm.
didn't really do a lot of, he didn't really, was amazing to me of all the productions I've ever been in. You know, normally directors are like, well, we want this and you're going to do this and it's going to be blah, blah, blah. And he didn't do that. He knew that he had a group of people that were
Yes.
professionals.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Everybody knew his job. Everybody was prepared. He expects his filters to be so good and so exquisite that everybody gets, handed over to him to create his final creative vision is
yeah,
absolutely, up to the task of delivering that product that they think he wants to see.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
of course.
And so it's a great lesson because I went in there totally prepared, and I knew that I had to be Marshall. And
Mhm.
I love character. I'm a character actor. I like to look
Mhm.
different than myself. I
I
mean,
love
this
you
I don't
also,
really,
and
but I like
well,
to look
in a
different.
way, it is you. You're different, yeah. And by the way, chat, isn't that beautiful? Smash the like button for this. I mean, it's such a great, like little insight from the set. I was wondering when I was looking at this picture, who are you listening to? Are you looking to the rush that was previously shot? What are you looking or you're listening to right now in the moment, or is somebody like the
Look
assistant
at
director?
Hoyt. Look at Hoyt. He's
Ah,
looking, I think he's
on the
messing with
screen.
a rack focus.
I see. I see.
And so I, first of all, you should know that the
Mm-hmm.
camera, if you don't know this, is probably the size of two of my car seats. It is
Mm-hmm.
so big that
Yes.
it took two people every 20 minutes to load in the 70 millimeter film.
That
Two
was the
people.
IMAX, the IMAX 70 millimeters that you were using,
And
right? Yeah.
oh, there you go. Uh-oh, I got the balloon.
Ah,
Uh,
yes.
but the
Thank
thing that
you. Thank you, Sonia.
yeah, but the thing is that what we're looking at is most likely the camera. So he wants to understand the shot, but you have to know something as well. When that camera is shooting, it sounds like this the whole
Oh,
time.
wow. Like
It's
old school.
really super loud.
It's like old school, like the 35 millimeters back then. Of course, that's a 70. Oh, I see. Ooh,
And it's right here.
Interesting.
And
Yeah,
it's right here.
yeah.
Because we did a master shot.
You had to
Obviously.
adjust to that. You had to kind of adjust your concentration to that. Was it a bit distracting, or was it a bit
We were,
invading?
just so you know, we were there for 11 and a half hours.
Sure. Yeah.
And we were in and out, and they were setting the shots. And the interesting thing I want to say really quickly about that whole scene, I expected in the beginning that there would be a table, the war room table, but because the camera was so big, I get why there wasn't. But I have to tell you something. That whole scene that you're looking at here, do you see in back of me the windows?
Oh
Do you see
yeah,
the windows?
wait, yes, the windows here. Yeah, sure.
That's the only light he used, except for one little bitty time when he shot the politicians on the other side because they had the light here to be able to be on their face. Otherwise, he just bounced one light.
Wow, I see. That's amazing, dude.
Oh yeah, and so Hoyt knew exactly what he wanted.
He was doing what he
So did
wanted.
Christopher, and we did it in and out, and we had a great time in the green room or whatever you want to call it in the holding. I was just sitting there with Matthew and all, Matt.
Amazing.
Damon. We were just bullshitting about whatever.
Sure, makes sense. I mean, these guys are legit. They just want to work. They want to just deliver their best work. Here it is, this trailer. That's a beauty. And that they just want to deliver great work. They don't want to waste time. They want to go back home. They have, chores to it, like everyone.
Yeah.
I say this, and we had this discussion. I remember with our first or second interview that we had this discussion. Is like, what guys don't understand is that if you treat it as work and you practice the work, you will show up and you will do everything. The universe will provide with you, because professional people love to be around professional people. It's the energy that you emanate, the security, the confidence at the casting director's office. Please also, because you mentioned it, it's a super important casting director. How was the audition process?
It was amazing. I don't want to forget this as well. Remind me the word seeding. I want to say something about this, but the audition. So I hadn't gotten an audition from my agent Mike for about a month or so, and I'm like, what's going on? And he was a very dear friend of mine. I got a hold of him at one point. He goes, oh, I've got COVID and I'm in the hospital, but I'll be fine. Well, I didn't hear from him after a month. I finally was like, oh my God, I'm not getting, I got to change agents. Well, I got a new headshots, and I got a few auditions, and one of them was this one. And I have to tell you, you know, since COVID happened, I feel like there should be BC, AD, and before COVID, because everybody refers to that. But, you know, I got the sides because, as you know, you don't now what we're doing is pretty much 99% of what we do is self-taped. Now, I have to tell you that's a blessing for me, because I live in a place called Temecula, which is 2.5 hours away from LA. Now, before LA, as I'm going to do today, I would go 4 to 5 times a week on a commercial audition or a theatrical audition. And I'd go in, and I call it Dance Monkey Dance. And I'd go in, and they go, hey, Will. And I go, hey. And I go, got my sides. Here we go. And then I would go, blah, 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 and they go, thanks, Will. See you again. And then I would drive back 2.5 to 3.5 hours back.
That was the work, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. I remember my material was heavy. I always say this, but my material, when I was sending out my audition, my portfolio, it weighed like a couple of kilograms, right? Your tape, your pictures, your CV, that was heavy stuff. And now it's like email.
Yeah.
You got mail.
So when COVID happened, it was a blessing, because you know me, and we've known each other well before COVID.
Yep.
And you know, I can work an iPhone like a major motion picture cinematographer. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know how to shoot. I know how to edit.
This man shoots a web series on a smartphone, edits it, and brings it out and makes money with it.
Yeah, and so when COVID happened, I was sitting in my room anyway, and I had already built a live streaming studio that I was making money while everybody else was at home going, what am I going to do? And so when we all got done with COVID, they went, it doesn't look like we're going to go back in the room in person. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, yeah, okay. So now, fast forward, I've done hundreds of auditions in my home.
True.
And I'll tell you, last year alone, I booked 14 films or television shows out of my bedroom.
This is what we're talking about on readytoperform.com. Sorry to interrupt, but this is like piggybacking off of this, because this is so important. Our new website is made for exactly this. People don't realize the power that they have with their cell phone, with a little camera, like Will, like myself. Like, we approach these corporations, these huge networks that they're shooting movies with a budget north of $200 million just by sending in our material, just by sending in an email and getting the roles, getting the callbacks, getting noticed, getting awareness, getting acknowledged. This is why it's so fundamentally important to also join us, guys, to watch our videos, get our material, and also follow Will's channel. He has tons of great and very funny and entertaining videos. He's, like I said, he's also a magician. He's everything. Incredible content. But just that goes to show with what you were talking about, the seeding process, which is, I think, a fundamental thing. Also to reference to the stream, to the chat present today. Thank you so much, chat, for being here. Also our Facebook crowd, our Instagram crowd. How important, guys, it is. If you're starting off in this business, and maybe it's taking its time, and maybe, yes, sometimes there are crazy turns, and of course, not everything is fantastic, and there are some people there are some subjects, there are some situations that sometimes can discourage us, but you have to believe in the seeding process and leaving a legacy more than having that short-term validation, that instant, oh, I want to book this role. I want to book this role. I've read this book. Oh, I've booked this course. I went to this great coach. Now I'm going to book the next role. I'm ready. I'm going to nail this. Sometimes we shouldn't be, so entitled to think that it only depends from us, whether we get booked or not. We may deliver. And I believe Will Roberts, when he goes into the room, he smashes the room, ladies and gentlemen. Chat, he smashes. I know Will now for a while. I can tell. We've spent a lot of hours together. He smashes the room. He's a perfectionist. He's a pro. He's a professional. He comes in, he distributes energy and great entertainment. How many roles has he booked from smashing the room 20 years in a row? How many roles?
Well, I only have like 60, 65 credits. that, are on
It's
IMDb.
still 65 credits is still impressive. People
Well,
sometimes don't make 65 credits in their whole life. So you seeded a lot. This is where I'm gonna, I want to kind of, coming back to. You seeded a lot. Not everything was hyperly successful or immediately ahead, or you didn't break through, even though you release great material. Because, like I said, sometimes getting booked or not doesn't really depend from us. There's
No,
so many different, people coming in. Oh, we should get to this type of people. Oh no, we are interested in, catering to this audience. He might kind of interfere. And Sonia is giving us here, a thumbs up. Indeed, yeah, it's true, right? So believe in that seeding process instead of asking yourself every time, why didn't you get the flash of adrenaline, right?
And I want to make a comment about that, because I have a lot of actors that ask me, questions about what should I do and why aren't I this and that. And I always, go back to my concept of seeding, which is that you're going to go outside and you're going to drop the seeds in the box. And every day you're going to water those seeds. If you are in acting and think that you're going to go out there the next day and you're going to see a blossom, I got bad news for you. But I will tell you this. You have to continuously go out there and say, here's some more water. Oh, you're awesome. Like they did in the 70s. They talked to plants and they've proven that that is
absolutely. It's absolutely true.
But the thing I want to say is that most actors just are looking for a, quick fix. They're looking like, I've done all this stuff and I've done this, and I could do Oppenheimer and never see another role again. It depends on what you do, but you have to understand that you have to have the mental game. You have to understand that seeding is like planting, and you just have to keep cultivating it. Whether you're going to acting classes, whether you are giving him, you're being coached by you or your wife, and doing the process to be able to know what's the latest and greatest. One of the biggest problems I hear all the time is I hear people my age go, I'm getting out of it because now they want me to fricking shoot my own shit, and they blah, blah. They just, you need to know how to shoot, how to edit, how to do a self-tape. Let me tell you something really quickly. I have a method that I've been doing way before they were doing self-tapes, that I do, that I can get my self-tape in from start to finish within an hour. I don't care if it's 10 pages long. And you know what? I don't even use a reader. I have a reader, but I don't use a reader from anywhere.
I see what you mean.
And I disguise it. I'm telling you, I came up with this process because people are like, you live 2.5 hours away. And I go, my wife isn't gonna do the self-tape with me.
Right.
So I had to figure out a way of doing all this and being able to be really good. My self-tapes get in, they're brilliant looking, and they get in an hour, because first come, first serve. Let me tell you a statistic. Back in the day when I started in the 80s, maybe 50 people were going after a role. They'd call them in. Before COVID, it went to 2,500. Now, do you know what the average role gets from submissions? Take a guess. 4,500. So I'm here to tell you, if you're sitting there in your room as a casting director, do you think you're going to be seen if you're turning it in 3 days later? No. They're going to go, I got him.
Yeah.
First come, first serve. Seed. Yes. Don't wait for the results the next day. Don't get depressed. Plant another seed. Go out there and look for shit. People always go, oh, you don't want to offend the casting directors.
No, but guys, if you want to look at this picture. You see Will Roberts here, right? He's surrounded by Hollywood's elite, right? In terms of photography, directing, and acting, he's surrounded by Hollywood's elite. How do you think he got there? Like, there is no magic spell to this. It's the work, the presence, and the constants.
I wish there was, Lorenz. I really wish, I can't, look, I'm going to be totally honest with you. If you don't know how many times I've sat, not in this car, but in the 45 years I've done this, how many times I sat in the car, many times as a clown, because as a professional clown and balloon artist and magician.
Make sure to check out his content also on Instagram. It's very funny stuff.
And how many times I sat in this car crying, going,
Mm-hmm.
why not me? Why not
Mm-hmm.
me? I can tell you, I have done that more than times I can count on any one of my fingers and toes. And I kept saying to myself, why not me? But you have to find that drive to want to do this. If you have any doubt, really get out, because there's
Mm-hmm.
way too many people with less talent than you that will
Yes.
be persistent.
Yes, and not only they will do everything for being on set. And I had this conversation also with some colleagues on set sometimes while shooting the soap opera that we were doing. Because yeah, I get it. Sometimes people get with an attitude to soap opera set and say, "Oh well, that's just a soap opera." Well, it's still 3,000 euros, so 3,000 bucks a minute of recording, right? So our expenses for shooting an episode is nearly $1 million every day. So it's not that small. But even if you think it's a small budget, if you come on set with an attitude and not ready to give everything that you got in front of the camera and entertain the heck out of people, then make sure to leave your spot open for someone who is willing to do everything to be there, to get this chance, to demonstrate his value and to show the world what he's capable of. How dare you have that type of attitude? And this is what I'm saying. Like Will, for most of his life, was smashing auditions, right? And it took him a while. I mean, he's on Netflix. Check out his Western. He has done some major stuff, but this, of course, is a major breakthrough. Let's be real about it, because the budget is so extreme, because the amount of incredible people you worked with in this picture is extreme. And so the value, of course, of this movie, also the worldwide distribution, you've been seen like by billions of people by now, right? So this is definitely like a major upstep for your career, for everything. Are there any crazy new projects already? Is the phone ringing a bit more often now?
Uh, yes, but I want to
Mm-hmm.
go back a teeny bit
Sure.
and say, I want to say one thing that I want to tell. There's one thing I
Mm-hmm.
want you all to know about this industry that I want to bring to you as my free gift, best 4-letter word in the English language. The reason why, for example, I got in Oppenheimer, and or any of the other things I've gotten in, and I believe the key to acting success is this one word: confidence. And I'm telling you, I have absolutely all the confidence in the world that I'm probably better than most of the actors in that film. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I say that is I'm not trying to trick myself. I've done this, I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to tell you why that's important. Why that's important is because that's the key element that they're looking for you when they hire you. When you think about it, let's say the soap opera you did,
Mm-hmm.
or Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. Do you
Mm-hmm.
know what they spend a day? Do you know that when they audition you, they're simply looking for a couple of things? Number one, they wanted a type. You fit it. Number
Mm-hmm.
two, they want to know that if they put you up against Matt Damon, Cillian Murphy, Matthew Modine, Josh Hartnett, that you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to crumble.
Mm-hmm.
They have to have the confidence that you put through your demo reel and do what you do, that when you get in that room, that you're going to knock it out of the park. There is nothing else, in my opinion, more important than having that confidence yourself and pushing it to
100%.
them going, I'm your man, woman.
100%. Yeah, I'm 100%. I agree, because the confidence gives you the ability to relax a little bit, just a little bit. That will give you that nanosecond of advantage to improvise in the room,
Yeah.
to kind of go into a different direction, adapt, to be open and not be so stiff and just delivering what you've prepared beforehand. That
Yep.
confidence gives you that little space that allows you to be really creative in the end and kind of come
Yeah.
up with your more honest product that you can. And so I think it's the number one factor that kind of drives the game home. Yeah.
Yeah, and also let me say that it is the other thing that when I did walk in that room, and this is a visual, I'm speaking to them as the 5-star general. Even Christopher said this in our scene. He goes, you're going to deliver to Matt and this side, the military. Here is the scientist. Here are the politicians. You don't care about them because they're trying to pitch you to say, okay, we'll drop the bomb. But here's the thing. I can't go in that room going, oh my gosh, I'm here. I'm here. Oh my gosh, Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
that's what it would have looked like. I got to go in there going, you do know you're speaking to the 5-star general, right? And my point is that
Sure.
you have to understand that it has to be a level playing field. The confidence comes in. I know
Otherwise, they
I'm who
eat
I
you
am.
alive. They eat you alive in there. Otherwise, they eat you alive, and you're not gonna enjoy this at all. Believe me. You need that confidence.
You
Where's
do.
your confidence? Where's your confidence coming from? I mean, well, of course, you have a lot of natural baggage, but of course, it grew also on you through the
Oh,
experience. Through
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Where did my confidence come from? Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it,
like
do
you
it, do
said,
it,
in
do
your
it, do
car,
it.
you had many times that type of collapse that I also faced in my life. And I think every great artist, or let's say every artist, let's leave the great away. I think every real artist needs to have those breakdowns, needs to doubt life, the world, himself, his art, his craft, his skill. You need to get to the point where you doubt everything and you hate everything and just want to throw everything away in order to kind of, just vomit it out. Because then you kind of recuperate, you gather your goods, and you say, okay, I got this. I think every great artist needs to push through that period to understand, hey, I need to step up my game. I need to come up with a better game. I need to be more
Right.
focused. Whatever it is, I need to charge myself up in a way that is 100% waterproof, foolproof. So when I get in there, I fucking nail this.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. I'm going to show you this. It's called the card fan. And I'm here to tell you that as a magician of 45 years, you see that I'm doing this and I'm actually speaking to you at the same time. Here's the thing. Just like acting, I had to do this thousands and thousands and thousands
Muscle
of times.
memory, I always say
But
this.
here's the biggie. I had to do it so many times that when I got done doing it, I could speak through this. I could make jokes. I could flip it up in the air. I could do whatever I want. I had to know it so well.
It has to trickle down into your limbic brains. If it's not in your limbic system, guys, it's not you. Absolutely. Don't pretend you got people are too early, too satisfied with their audition prep. They think they've done a couple of hours. I sat down. Yeah, I got it memorized. Well, I will. This is winging it. This is not owning it.
Yeah. And you know what actually, in my opinion, excels that confidence, and you can get it quicker? Just by the fact that you are doing the classes and doing those things, because I jumped into the fire. When I wanted to learn how to be really good at improv back 36 years ago, I decided as a balloon artist, because I needed the money, I got Applebee's, Chevy's, I got all these places, and I went up to them and I went, I want to come in here on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and do balloon animals for the tables. I don't want you to pay me anything, and you're just going to give me food. And they went, and I'll make tips. And they went, great. Yeah. Why did I do that? I put myself into the fire because I had to walk up to the table with a family, mom, dad, not make fun of the dad, but make fun with the dad, because that's the dude going to tip me. And when I did it, it made me aware of everything. And I became so quick at my improv that you can put me in front of 25,000 people and go, oh, here's the subject. Oh, I don't know anything about it. Let me about it. Okay, great. Let's do it. And I'll spend an hour talking to you about it. Why? Because I'm confident in what I can do and how I can reach out, grab a little bit of theirs, give mine, and go back and forth. It's about repetition in front of people that takes you out of that ball game.
Repetition.
Where you go, I'm nervous.
Yes, repetition is the way to mastery, and mastery is the authority that you will emanate. If you have mastery in any type of field, people will accept your authority. Therefore, your confidence, and they were also willing to pay you, right? Because let's face it, you need that also. I mean, in acting, the more you have there on your skill side, the more they need to pay you. That's what it is.
Yeah. I don't have any problem when people tell me, they go, we want you to do a gig. I do my trick rope and stuff. They go, we hired someone the other day or last year for $350. I'm like, I'm $2,500. And they go, well, that's kind of, I go, well, why don't you go get that $350 person and call me, and I'm going to charge you double. Because you get what you pay for.
Yes.
I'm very confident that you're going to get a great show.
So, since we are having a lot of, we are having the masterclass, by the way, on the 16th, right? Where we explicitly talk about the audition process. Please, guys, jump in. You can register for free. Links in the description. You can find them on Eventbrite. It's a great opportunity to kind of, improve your skill set, get some new tools in your toolbox, or dust off the old toolbox and really get a new perspective. Also talking about a lot of stuff that we're talking also today about how the audition changed, about how self-tapes are important. Also, if you want to have a bit of coaching in that regard, I mean, you can also hit up my man Will over here, because he will definitely give you the right boost and the right skills.
No, I'm stopping
you have to
you
pay
there.
them. Yeah, they have to pay you.
I'm stopping you there. Here's the reality. I'm going to say this to you and your audience is, if you don't attend the self-tape class and you're watching this now, I don't know what you're doing. Because here's the thing. I am here to tell you that I've learned, as I've become a seasoned veteran actor, I've learned that you want to gather a team, because I am good at a lot of things, but I am also good at knowing that now where I'm at, I don't want to do everything. I want to talk to people like you and say, hey, I need you to help me with this and that, and I'll pay you or whatever. Because here's the thing. When you can bust through the learning curve and you've got someone like you, Lorenzo, that can do it, and your wife, why are you wasting your time? Pay the freaking money, get it done, move on, put the energy into actually doing it. Don't sit there on YouTube going, bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make this into an ad, but look, I'm telling you right now, I highly endorse what he does, because I know that he's succinct. He's very clear about it. He's working. And I don't know why, what the hell? Do it.
Thank you, man. I truly appreciate it. Yes.
Well, it's the truth. We spend a lot of time in our industry nowadays looking at stupid ass YouTube shit and watching Instagram going, well, I guess I'm an actor now. No, work with the real people, do the shit, write that shit down, have your manifestation goals. I have them every single night. I listen to my shit and I go, okay, I'm gonna, boom, I get in the realm and I hit it. And you know what? It's working, but you got to have people like you.
Thank you so much, Ben. It's great to have such an endorsement from someone who I consider, first of all, a friend, and a beautiful, and like we had really so much. From the first moment, I feel like we discovered that we have the same pulse, the same vibration, the same. It's the same thing. We are old school in a way, or let's say true school, because it's not about old school, new school. It's about being true to your potential and really exercising, really putting the work in there. And what Will is suggesting, whether you're taking my help or someone else's help, is that you take help, that you understand that this is a mission, an investment into your career, that you treat yourself and your acting craft like an industry, like a business itself. It's not me anymore. It's like, hey, how can I make this company run? My company needs, of course, like every company, the right instruments to get to its audience. What are the right instruments? Self-tapes. Going to the audition in a certain way, having the right clothes, fitting the style, investing in my body, investing in my research, all this stuff, right? And you can't have
and self-taping. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Self-taping is without a doubt in 2024 the tool in your toolbox as an actor that you should nail. If you are not nailing it and your lights back here and your sound sounds like shit, and
we can't afford that anymore. It's true. We can't really afford to deliver those tapes anymore. It's 2024. We need to deliver. They won't take them. Yeah, that's true.
I saw interviews that on some big casting directors going, we were very forgiving when COVID happened and people were like shooting shit with the light in back of them and their dogs barking. And I get it. I got kids. I got a 10 and a 13-year-old. And, I'm constantly going, shut up, without swearing. And, my point is that this is not only a career and a job. This is a lifestyle. This is what's causing my hair to raise right now, because I, this weekend, am going to the Academy Award after party for the studio and 6 other things. And you know what? If anybody thinks I'm boasting, I got to say, I'm sorry a little bit, because when you work as hard
No,
as
you're
we
not.
do, when we work, when
Yes.
you, and in this industry, to say that you're a working actor, it means you've
Absolutely. Are
been
you crazy?
working your ass off.
I mean, first of all, they will discover anyways. And second, I mean, this is also our business to tell people not only when we're going through a rough patch, but also when we're succeeding and we can
Yeah.
claim victory. And if you can make yourself findable, you won't be found. So you better say that I'm on the red carpet tonight. You better say that I'm at this party tonight. If you're there, if you can fulfill on that promise, it just undermines, right? It just undermines your authority. It just kind of fortifies what you're saying. And so therefore both need to be acknowledged, not only the bad stuff, not only the negative stuff, not only pointing out the problems, but also the good stuff that comes out of this business. Because like you were saying, there are many great things coming out of this business. The emotions that we feel with every self-day, with every audition, whenever it gets him. Did you had like a callback for this, or did you book you immediately? How did it kind of they booked immediately, right? Yeah.
So what happened was, and what's happening a lot in the industry now is that, I mean, if you're getting an under 5 or a co-star type of thing like that, if it's something major, I imagine, you know, they're going to have more, they'll have more physical callbacks because they want to do what's called a producer's, you know, audition or a callback. But I got the audition, and I believe that, you know, a lot of others got that same scene, and they looked through them, and obviously, and that's the thing that blows me away too, is that Christopher Nolan watched me in my audition, and then ultimately, when you think about it, he put me in the trailer. I'm in the trailer. I mean, it's mind-blowing to me. But the audition was a self-tape, and then I sent it in, and it's interesting because when I sent it in, I didn't get it in first because my agent passed away, and I didn't have anyone to put it through for me. So I had to find an agent. I had to find an agent through a friend of mine, Sasha Knopf, who's an amazing photographer and coach. But she said, you know what, I'll get this person to do it for you. Just push it through. Because if I didn't find that agent, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So I literally had to find the agent to be able to push the audition through. And when they did, she got a hold of me via email about a day later and said, you've been pinned. Now, if you don't know what that is that basically they will watch you and go, Christopher will go, and the casting director will go, I like this guy, that guy, blah, 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 blah. I like these guys for that role. And then from there, they'll either have a callback or they will basically go, you know, you're good. And for me, they pinned me, and then 10 minutes later, the agent got back to me. She goes, guess what? You booked it, and it's Christopher Nolan. And I'm like,
nice.
And then I had to wait 3 months before we filmed it. So I was like, study. Anyway.
Nice. Fantastic, man. That's really, I mean, this is how, you know, sometimes these dreams actually come true, and it's so beautiful to witness it firsthand from a person that you hold so dearly. Great story. Thank you so much.
One thing I want to say, words of advice, is that yes, I did get this. But if you think, like people are saying, oh my God, you're going to the Academy Awards stuff, and I've got 4 days solid of all this, from gifting parties to whatever, but Sunday is that. So obviously Monday, people will be taking off. Not me. I will be working and sending out a mass email saying congratulations with that. And I'm hoping it'll be not me holding, but we'll be holding of the 13 nominations, at least 8 of them, including Best Film. And if that happens, I will be spending a lot of my time doing as much as I can to stay in that light.
Yeah, this is party time for sure.
But you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm not going to let down.
No, I mean, now it's time to harvest. Guys,
well, work harder too.
Yes, of course. Of course. Now double down and triple down if necessary, for sure, because now the crack is there. Like I said in the beginning, now the door is open. You got your foot in there. So make sure to get, how is that strategically working out for you? Are you more present on parties? Are you networking even harder? Are you trying to get into like a community where they also are to be seen, like playing golf, all these things?
You know, I will say, you know, I'm not a really big, I have like, I could say maybe 5 people I call friends. You are certainly one of them, along with your wife. I consider you
Beautiful.
all that I would go somewhere, have dinner with you, and we would have a good time.
Hmm.
I don't have a lot of those people because number one, Hollywood is what it is. And
Hmm.
and it's funny because a lot of the friends, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful, but there's a handful or two of friends that ever since I got Oppenheimer, I haven't heard from them. But that's
Hmm.
because we're all actors, and I get it. If it wasn't me getting it, I'd probably be sitting there going, "Damn, why didn't I get? Damn."
Yeah, for a
But
second, for sure. But then, hey, so I mean, it's beautiful. Someone got it. I mean, the culture is alive. Next time it's gonna
yeah,
be me. I mean,
right. But since then, when the film, well, the trailer came out, um, and then from there, the film, I will say that I used to get what I call low hanging fruit auditions, meaning I'd get films and TV through my agent, some, you know, TV and film, whatever.
hmm.
But now I get my auditions, and they usually at the bottom in the role I'm going after in the breakdowns, it will say name, talent, or star. So that's kind of neat to see that first one come through and go, holy shit, this is a big film and
Hmm.
they want name talent and they're asking me to audition. You know,
Hmm.
there's a lot more opportunities because, again, when you do a demo tape, one of the biggest problems a lot of times is beginning actors or even advanced, they put in these videos of like someone else speaking and then you're on and you're like, who am I watching? You don't put
Right.
other people, you do not put other people in your scenes in your demo unless it's Matt Damon, Killian Murphy, Matthew Mochi, because then they go, well, shit, look
Yeah,
at
look at
we're
this.
yeah,
Otherwise, leave
but
them out.
yeah,
Very good advice.
but I want to make something very clear. As I say this, look, this is not Lorenzo didn't have me on the show to celebrate my success. What he did do, in my opinion, is for you to share up.
And there, for a second or so, we lost goodwill. Maybe it's connection. Maybe he mentioned something about that it could be also like an interruption of the line happening because of energy problems. But nonetheless, I mean, look at this gentleman here. He has done a great job. Watch the movie again and catch him in this very important scene also that takes place where it's about the decision making about the bomb and everything, and just a cast of incredible actors like you mentioned before, and this top-notch photography. This is what excites me personally the most. This is really interesting. Like, yes, he's adjusting, as you can see, he's adjusting the monitor, the sharpness, to make sure now he's back. Yo, yeah, you're back, man.
Sorry,
It's all
someone
good.
called me. So
Ah, all right.
yeah.
This
So really quickly,
sure.
you didn't have me on. I mean, you did. I appreciate you celebrating my success in this film, but the thing that I really want people to take away from this, and I want you to listen clearly, okay? And because I know you're probably coming to the end of the show, the point is that the reason why I'm here today, I'm going to tell you, is to tell you all, get your shit together, do everything you can. If you truly, truly want to do this, get off this when he's done with this stream and get out there, look in the mirror and go, yes, 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 do it, set the plan, make it happen. Don't have any doubts. Get your homework done. Continue to do this. You got to live it, breathe it, eat it, and don't expect anything except expect the best. Because I'm telling you, this is the
Mm-mm.
only way to do this. And look, I've been doing this for a long, long time. So is Lorenzo. The point is that you
Yes.
can't give up. And I always used to say this. You know what the difference is before all this? The difference between me and Matt Damon and Killian Murphy and all these people. You know the difference between us is they're working and they got the opportunity. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you keep pressing, you've got to succeed. You just have to. So if you want to succeed, keep that mindset. Get people like the Coach MC. You gotta do that shit. And if you do it, they'll help you get through all that bullshit you see on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube.
I
and all
haven't
the other
hired
fake-
this guy. He's not paid to do this. That's his
No,
opinion.
I'm not.
He's expressing his personal beliefs.
And I'm
no,
not.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Absolutely.
The reason why I'm saying this is because we're not talking about being plumbers or lawyers or doctors, because they do 10,000 hours of blah, 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 and we do 100,000 hours. And you know what? And there's no guarantee you're going to be able to get work. If you're a lawyer, a doctor, most likely you're going to get a practice. You're going to do it. Are we guaranteed to get acting? Not on your life.
2%, 3%, like the rate is incredible. It's abysmal. It's very drastic. It's I think 98% don't have like a stable income, calling themselves actors, and actually just 2 or 3% do.
Less than 1% in Hollywood make a living off of their acting.
Yeah, they're usually waiters. Like everybody in LA is a waiter or just works for Uber or Lyft.
That's why I don't live in LA. My point is, in all this, I really love the fact you had me on. I've been watching your streams. I was very excited to see that you finally got out of that country, the East Block. Anyway,
me too, man.
I'm glad that you're here because you're very passionate. And look, again, I don't make jack shit. I don't want anything from him other than his friendship. But what I do realize in this industry and doing this for as long as I have is that you need to find and surf through all the bullshit. And when you do that, then you focus on your goal and never take no for an answer. Never take no for an answer. Just be persistent. Don't be annoying, but
don't be annoying for sure. Well, I mean, this is beautiful words. If I can only subscribe to this. Like, this is the testament that you're writing. Basically, you're Moses right now. You're kind of dividing the Red Sea, because what you said should be chiseled in stone in front of every fucking acting school. Because sometimes in acting schools we sell the formula to the problem, but we don't really give you the solution to finally achieve the result. Because this is the stuff that sometimes avoids you to go through 4 years of acting. And I'm not saying it's not an important thing. Socially, there can be many advantages and profits out of that, but sometimes, guys, it's so easy. It's just what he describes, right? You don't need like 4 years and endless rows of teachers and psychoanalysis to tell you, hey, it's hard work, it's persistency, never take no for an answer, push through. It's old-fashioned elbow grease. Of course, sometimes we have to give them like fancy labels in the future. And I'm not saying that there isn't like you were saying, manifesting, Joe Dispenza, controlling your thoughts, emanating positivity. I'm not saying that they're like finding your why, all this stuff. Very good. Okay, I got it. There's good stuff that we can implement, but in the end, it needs to be result driven. Thank you, Will, for stopping by. If you need to go, I'll let you go, man.
Tip.
Sure.
One more tip. And this is what you
you can talk as much as you want, man. You hijacked my stream anyways, Chad. Let me know. That's all good. I love that. It's I never expected anything less from you.
I know. Yeah, I've been on your lives before, liking, and I'm like, oh, he's not going to have me on because he's really on a roll, and I would disturb that roll. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The thing that is really important to understand is that, look, people always go, where'd you go? Harvard? Did you go to UCLA? I didn't go to any of those. I did Hard Knocks, and I did a lot of theater, and I did a lot of, just getting in there and learning, because you need to learn how to be someone that can self-evaluate yourself. But let me tell you the key thing people ask me about in regards to acting. They go, what is your tip on acting? And I go, don't act. And it sounds simple, but look at commercials. I mean, you can go and do years and years of training. UCLA won't let you get out and do anything for 4 years until you do their shit. And you know what? I've done a lot of theater training, a lot of stuff like that. But I'm here to tell you that nowadays, you know what UGC is?
UGC? No, what is that?
UGC, you'll see it on auditions now for commercials all the time. And I'm
Right.
actually a UGC expert. I was doing this during COVID as well. UGC is the people that grab their cell phones and they go, "Oh, hey, I got I got this really great thing with implants, right? It's really good." And you're moving the camera
Ah,
around.
all
It's
right.
called user generated content. Here's the thing. Back in the
How?
day when they hired actors for commercials, they hired actors. And we would go, "Yeah, I love this soft drink. It's
Yeah.
awesome. I love it. And I'm going to go drive my sports car." And you were
Yes.
acting. You were
Right. Like
acting.
clearly, yeah, acting.
Now,
Yes.
now, the reason why they want user generated content and they don't want actors is because they don't want you to act. So when people say to me, "What's the key to success in doing what you did with all those guys in the room?" I go, "I was Marshall and I wasn't acting." There are several actors, including one of them up for best actor right now, that I look at and go, every time I see his work, I always think he's going, "To be or not to be, that is a question." And I'm like, "You're acting.
Damn,
Stop
you're even
acting."
good at artificially acting. That's really humbling, man. It's like even when you're doing a bad representation, it's still better than the than the average representation nowadays. Because I feel you're totally right. What I'm seeing nowadays is so weird because the average level has fallen down rapidly and drastically. And so even if somebody is doing just average work on camera, he seems like to be like the last genius prophet of acting coming down from Mount Sinai, where it's actually like, yeah, it's okay. Like I've seen many movies that have been held in glory, and you know, it's like, yeah, they're good movies. Hey guys, like the 80s, do you remember some? The 90s? There we had great 70s, 60s. Like to me, still, I'm sorry, right? Maybe I sound annoying, but this is the quality standard, not this stuff. We have clearly a phase where we're hitting a plateau. Let's say not the trough. We're hitting a plateau where there's major resistance in improving our quality. And I totally agree. You nailed it. You nailed your role. You were the best in the scene. You were killing it. He's having another phone call, and right in a moment where I'm complimenting myself with him, which is even better. So I don't have to I don't have to say this to his face because actually I hate this guy. So I can say it now. He was absolutely great. He's a great actor. He also did all the Grit, I think, or Grit, something like that. Not Grit, on Netflix. Guys, go watch a movie with Will Roberts as a protagonist. Absolutely stunning performance. He's I'm sorry, we lost him here. Here we got him again. You back? No? Let's see. Maybe he's back. He's absolutely great. And you can tell that his confidence is being poised. You know, the way that he, you know, puts himself out there, it's just I was just saying that Will, can you hear me? Yeah, it's so good. Sure. No, I can't hear you now. Wait, let me see. Should I mute you? No. I can't hear you right now. You're not something. Maybe. Let me see. No. Oh, he's not with us right now. So don't worry. It's all good, man. What is it here? I could consider. No, you should be. I can't explain. I can't. Oh, it's so nice. Right. No, the moment we will have Will back in full, with his full power, we'll have him back on the stage. But anyways, just to kind of tell you guys, this is the formula, right? We've been talking about this so many times, and it's great to have like a pro who just, you know, booked in a magnificent role in a great big budget movie, and he will tell you, you know, firsthand that it's absolutely doable, that everything is in the, you know, in the maybe I think we got the audio back, man.
I hope so.
Yes, we got it now. I was saying to my audience, to the chat, I'm really happy that he's gone, so I can compliment myself for his performance. So he doesn't have, you know, now you're back, and I have to tell it to your face how great you played. It's just, yeah. No,
Thank you.
You really killed it. You were the
You know,
best in the room. It
I
was
do
great.
appreciate I do appreciate you saying that. I really do. And the reason why is because I've had several people, including the Marshall people, the foundation, say, you know, up until now, we've been sort of our mark was Saving Private Ryan. There was a guy, an
Mm-hmm.
actor, they said, that played George Marshall in that. And they said, when you came out and did yours, we're now referring to him as the caricature actor because you were just him. And she goes, and I know him. I mean, I know
Mm-hmm.
his work and what he's doing. And, you know, I got a lot of people, and it's very interesting, Coach, because really, I mean, I've got 4, 5, 6 lines or something in that, but they're very prominent lines. They're, you
Mm-hmm.
know, they're, what do you call it? They're pivotal. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but the point is that I really pride myself in the fact that I did not show myself as being someone that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't of their caliber,
Mm-hmm.
and that I did play it the way the role should be played. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes less is more. And
Mm-hmm.
also, you don't, as an actor, people all the time are going, well, you don't, you know, they, you know what they say, not big, big roles, big actors, is that sometimes it's more important the silence than the talking. And this is a good example of just listening to these people and capturing that and having those moments is what makes up the whole thing, because we're there as a team anytime we do scenes to make sure that not that we're the one that's the best or the funniest, but that we are cohesive. And that's what makes people go, you got 13 nominations, one of them is for best film and the other's for best cast. You pick the best team.
Sometimes it's that also to be the best delegator for sure. I think again coming back to the concept that people sometimes feel too entitled to make all the decisions instead of delegating to the right team leaders to take control of a certain sector that they can control.
Yeah.
It's like you said before, if you're new to this business or if you're a veteran, it doesn't really matter. If you feel like your game needs to be stepped up, then by all means invest in your game. Otherwise, how are you supposed to win this battle? I mean, it's ludicrous to think that you have all the answers. Everybody studies. What do you think an athlete does during the week? Do you think like an athlete, like a pro soccer or football athlete, loves to go on the pitch every day and train and not stay home with their wives or with their children or just spend their money? And they go out and train every day, even though on Monday they battle themselves. And they play on the weekend because they have to get it into their muscle memory. They have to repeat the sequences. They have to improve the movements. This is how you get to the dominating level of quality.
Yeah, again, it's the game. I mean, that's what I'm saying is that people always look at acting and they go, there's now you see all this stuff on Instagram where we go, people think auditions aren't working. Well, they are working because that you're working to try to get a role. And if you're not getting excited about those things, or if there's something, I've always felt that, in my opinion, if you have a fear, go to it, go hang out with it, hug it, kiss it, make love to it.
Yes.
Do whatever you can, because the fact is that that's the thing that will bring you down. If you don't understand that there's business in show business, you're in the wrong business.
Ding dong. Another public service announcement brought to you by the proud and very audacious Will Roberts, ladies and gentlemen. Ding dong. AOL Time Warner. Ding dong. I hope you don't have share.
Roll the tote board.
Ding ding. Well, it was a real pleasure hanging out with you. It was like always, you're a well of, I don't know, like there is so much. You're this magic potion. I think like in whenever time you can like medieval time, Will Roberts would have been like this, and in future time we can place you in every time frame and you will work, right? Like this multidimensional being.
Try.
Right?
That's the thing. Be versatile, be flexible, but make sure you be yourself.
And if you sometimes, of course, hit those troughs and you hit those moments where everything kind of plays against you, and yes, maybe you think life is unfair or they've all conspired against you. Those feelings sometimes comes up, but realize by observing it, hey, there are 8 billion people. 8 billion people on this planet. Do you think that there is a group, a bunch of fellas that conspired against you? Like, we are nothing. We are sandcorns. We are really not that important. We can make our contribution by believing in our own product and not trying to understand something that we can't control, right? Focus on what you can control. Don't try to put structure on chaos and chaos on structure. Put more structure into structure and try to live with the chaos, and everything will be just fine.
Yeah. And, I'll say also that recently I've kind of drawn away a little bit from the self promoting of Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff, because the fact is that I was doing a lot of stuff, and and you too. I was doing a lot of stuff, but it was really kind of thinking, like, if I get out there and get people, I get likes from my acting stuff, then maybe someone will see me. I have gotten a lot of my work on overseas through a lot of my social, but I'm here to tell you, spend more of that time working with you, coach, or working on the toolbox that you need to have as an actor. And if you're going to shoot stuff, I would say shoot it to make shorts or to make webisodes or something, and put them on YouTube so you can at least get that going, because you never know nowadays, because you never really had to be really talented. I mean, you do have to be able to be talented to be able to be consistent and have longevity. But to get in this industry, I'm pretty sure you don't need a degree. You don't need an education. You don't need a degree. Matter of fact, that's one of the things that's kind of great about it. But bottom line is that spend less time trying to figure out if you can get likes on TikTok and shit, and spend more time trying to figure out if you can learn how to do memorization. Like, I've gone through memorization courses with Ron White, and I've done all these different things. And you know what? Do it. Self-tape a bunch of shit. Do your own stuff. Whatever. Do something that makes you
I think he's getting another call, but yeah, he's totally right. Do all these things. Yeah, we lost you for a second, Will. All right, no back, no comprende. Well, we can hear you as well. This is a very interactive. It's all good. I can't hear you. Oh, it's okay. I love you too, buddy. I love you too. No, it's been absolutely fantastic to have Will on the show. It's a great honor, and because he's truly an artist, he really believes in the craft, and he does everything. And like you've heard him saying, it's not a matter of really always knowing, right? You produce and you do different things, you follow your instinct sometimes. It's never you losing time. It's always you investing in your legacy. If what you do is always centered around those core purpose, core value prepositions that you have. And that is the beautiful thing of arts, because it keeps you thriving, even though, sometimes the monetary compensation is less, but it keeps you thriving because you improve exactly in those times when the money is maybe not flowing in massively, and the money keeps coming, or is coming in that moment when you hit that critical mass. And all of a sudden, when you hit that personal evolution, and you understand, hey, I'm here to play this game of improving, of putting art out there, of being satisfied with the quality of my production, and not so much of getting instant gratification and immediate validation and consideration by people that I don't even know, right? This is what Will was trying also to say, because if you play the social media game, yeah, sure, it can help you to promote your business. It can help you to put your message out there. It definitely is a leverage to, exemplify, what are, communicating your ideas, right? It definitely helps doing all these things, right? It's a leverage, and like a magnifying lens, but it's not the purpose. It's not the sole purpose. It's not the only reason, right? To keep that algorithm alive, why we're here in the first place. It's one of the instruments that we can use to kind of leverage our position here, right? It's not only about putting all our eggs into the social media basket and kind of expecting, good luck and good fortune out of that. It's, of course, what you do as a professional, as a master, as an apprentice of a skill that will make you, get recognized, that will make you get acknowledged by the people out there, by the professionals. And Will is a perfect example for that, because if you scroll through Will Roberts' Instagram, his Facebook, his YouTube, is just full. It's just packed with a lot of different content pieces, right? There are videos, there are web series, there's like longer movies. He shot pretty much everything because he loved the craft, and so he was experimenting. Calling other people over to his place, shooting little things and clips here and there, and it was just for the sake of telling a story, not so much satisfying an algorithm. And therefore, when you create substantial work for yourself, you start also building a confidence, because you wind up solving problems, right? If you shoot like a movie for yourself, something that you produce at home, you definitely will solve a lot of problems, right? In order to shoot a movie, let's say even just 5 minutes. And if you shoot another movie, you will solve another set of problems. And you get my point, right? The more movies you shoot, the more problems you solve. Now, whether it's you solving the problem firsthand or delegating to someone who is fit to solve that problem, that doesn't matter. It's still you recognizing and then reacting and then implementing the solution. So therefore, you get smarter through that process, and that process makes you also more confident. When people ask me what is a successful actor, it's an actor that successfully behaves that way every day. So every day you get up and you shoot your content, you do your research, you study some new texts and old texts, right? You rehearse classical language. You behave like a successful actor would behave. Sometimes you hang out in expensive bars with a big cigar, and you kind of dance around there. You have your business cards ready. You do networking, and people will talk to you because you seem to be confident. You seem to be someone who needs to be in this place, and therefore you're reflecting your work. And this is what I mean. If you do this successful work every day, that means that already, without even getting noticed by a studio, a casting director, a certain movie director, without even being in their scope, you're already creating for yourself the terrain where you harvest your confidence from. And once you have that confidence, like Will was saying in this beautiful interview today, which I'm really grateful, where he was showing us the process, how he got there to play, 5-star General Marshall in the movie Oppenheimer, right? Here we got him at his entrance of his trailer. What he was telling us is that, when they saw him audition and when they also perceived his confidence, this is where everybody, and Christopher Nolan picked him personally, right? He said that he was pinned after a couple of minutes, and a couple of minutes later than that, he was already called to action. So he was already booked for the role. And those were very instrumental, fundamental moments of the movie. So if you have like a $300 million movie, or let's say north of $200 million type of movie, and you have that crucial scene that kind of decides the fate of the whole, internal dynamic of the feature, and you book an actor for that pivotal moment, for that crucial apex, for that summit point of the storytelling process, you better make sure that this person that you're calling in there, this actor that you're booking, this no name, quote unquote no name, because he had like 65 IMDb credits, so not really a no name, a professional that never appeared, let's say, in those type of budgeted movies, right? Who was part of entertainment industry for a long time, but it was the confidence that he transmitted to be ready to perform, like we always like to call it, when he was, getting called to action, that made Christopher Nolan to take this decision and immediately kind of inform his casting director, a very important casting director, like Will mentioned, and say, Will is the guy. He's our marshal. He's our general marshal. He's going to play this role. And so without any further ado, they booked him to be part of this amazing cast. And this goes for saying that, the seeding process we were talking through this episode of the Open Class Doodles is it sounds so not mundane. It sounds so redundant. It sounds so cheesy in a way to say, hey, enjoy the process, right? Because the process is the actual trophy. That's the actual accolade. Like Will was saying, yeah, I'm gonna be part of this party, and of course I'm excited. Now I have to work harder, right? That is not my accolade. My accolade is the process that I've learned that I can have the confidence to compete with the best in my game. And this is really important for a professional, to have that type of competitive edge, that type of thirst, the type of hunger. If we don't have that ambition, then we should exit this industry for real. Yeah, because there are a lot of people who would die to be on a set, who would die to be an actor, who would die to work with these professionals. Matthew Modine, Chris Nolan, and all these people, right? And they are impeding to do that because they take it for granted that, that they are the focus of attention, where everything they do is just complain about the business they're in and not giving 100% of what they're capable of. So step aside and make room for someone who will, because this is what we need. Actors are agents of transformation. We are the healers of the hearts. So when we come in, we better be in for real, for good. Because our mission is crucial, even if it's just for a couple of lines, like Will mentioned, right? It was just this pivotal moment in the movie. There was a lot of pressure on him, and still, he killed it. He absolutely killed it. And that confidence is important because it comes through that process, and you don't get that confidence just by faking that. Confidence can't be faked. You can stay calm on the outside, but then when you have to play, and you're just faking it, you're still nervous on the inside. You're not confident. And so your voice is shaky, your movements are not believable, and the actions you perform are not effective, right? Because you're not constantly there, because you're avoiding what's really the most, the important thing to do, to embrace your fear, like Will said, right? And you can only do that by being confident. You can't fake confidence, right? It will tell. Professionals will tell. Like these pros that are working on these levels, they can tell that you're trying to wing it. So that confidence also comes, of course, from, putting the work in there and transforming it into muscle memory. Chat, let me know what you think, right? Because this is really crucial. We need to understand that this is for everything that we do in life, right? If we want to enjoy it, the confidence that we have is just like it opens up so many windows and so many doors, so much more opportunities that will flow in automatically if you have that type of confidence, right? Because it makes you likable also to work with. People that are confident, usually they know their game, exactly. It's not complicated to work with them. And so at a certain level, this type of understanding, is key sometimes for getting booked for such an amazing project, because the casting director wants to make sure that once he delivers and he hands over an actor to the set, that nobody on the set will ever have a doubt that this guy or this girl will perform, right? Because the casting director doesn't want to hear anyone from the production calling him up to tell him, hey, you brought me a shaky candidate here, right? He was not delivering. No. Everybody who the casting director delivers to set needs to be, up to the task, and even more than that. And so when you are in there, and yes, you nail it, but you seem to be nervous on the inside and kind of difficult to handle with, and you're not really taking in the directions from the casting director, that just goes to show that probably you're not you're not settled. And therefore, sometimes this can lead to complications and time crunches on set, right? When you're not delivering, when you're fumbling up the lines, when you're not really, when you're really great, when you're not really performing on great levels, right? And they have to redo it and redo it and redo it. And if they get into a crunch zone because of you not really being on top of your game, again, this will also reflect on the casting director. So sometimes also, not to excuse the sometimes arrogant behavior that some casting directors have, but just to make you understand that there is a lot of their reputation on the line when they book you, right? And they need to make sure that they can be safe, because it's their reputation. And if you worked so hard in this business to be part of the elite for, 20 years or even more,
and then there comes this guy or this girl, and she seems to be shaky and not really confident, nervous in the inside. Yes, equipped with a lot of talent, but somehow too distracted by her own fear, and therefore not really taking in the directions and behaving a bit brush offish or kind of slightly arrogant because of the insecurity. Then the casting director might say, I'm sorry, darling, but this is not a gamble that I like to play right now. There's too much, the stakes are too high here. I can't do this, right? And sometimes actors react kind of roughly to that, and they don't really understand the context and why this is happening, and they blame it on the casting director or the production company, the director, instead of understanding, hey, it was you the whole time. You were just not emanating that security. That's it. And talent is not everything, right? On such a set, there are so many components that are important to make this whole clockwork work. And you need to be a highly functional, perfectly functioning gear inside of that clockwork, period. And if you're not managing to do that, then they won't hire you. So you're outside and watching while somebody else is doing your role, your part, and playing your character. Do you want that? Probably not. So therefore, we produce shows like this, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed today's Open Class Doodles. I enjoyed it a lot. Will is a great guy. I think we learned a lot. There's so much to take away from. Thank you, Chad, for being amazing and hitting the like button today. Thank you, Simona, Elena, Laura, Sonia, Sylvia, Monica, everybody present on Instagram, Facebook, Chad here on YouTube. Thank you so much. It's been a blast. I think we can call it a day today because it's after Will, you have to kind of digest all this information, all this energy. Will is a fantastic guy. Make sure to check out Oppenheimer, to check out his scene. It's a beautiful moment in the movie. Thank you so much, Pat. Thank you so much. Yeah. I mean, you can catch the replay, and definitely also check out Will Roberts' content. He makes amazing content as well. And, his feature films that are available on Netflix, and also his feature films that will come up. There's definitely a lot of Will coming to you and coming your way. He's an amazing actor, great entertainer, a beautiful performer, and a great human being. We know we know each other now for many years, and it's always been fantastic to be around him. Such a great energy. Check out also on our channel. There is it's a very old video. Maybe we should push it up and give it a new thumbnail. It's about the San Diego Comedy Festival, I think it is, where we were guests of his, where we also talked on stage. That was actually the first time and the only time so far as I can remember. No, the first time, not the only time. The first time where we actually physically met. It was a great gathering, and we had such a blast. And we made a nice video out of it. So make sure to check it out. Just scroll through, you will find it for sure. And yeah, give a subscription. Give a follow to this channel, guys. It goes such a long way to support our endeavors over here, to invite these incredible creators, these incredible performers. And we have Sir Darius Blaine coming up on Talks and Acting, our interview show. That is I highly suggest you to watch that, and all our Talks and Acting episodes as well. We do so many interesting, interviews with these people, hopefully interesting interview to really extract their methods, right? Their instruments of success. So you guys can use them, implement them right away into your toolbox, right? And kind of work with them, right? Get successful as well in the process and learn from these amazing creators, producers, performers, entrepreneurs, builders, rainmakers, visionaries, artists, pirates, and dreamers such as myself. And because this is the world of art, of communication, and also the world of the Coach MC studio. Since I can tell, my partner in crime, my wife, my beautiful companion and soldier, Alessandra, right? And myself, we've been born in this industry. We grew up with these crazy people on set, performing, acting, producing. And so for us, it's a way of, telling a story that comes from the stars, from our hearts, from our minds, and telling different stories and bringing in all these elements and all these facets, right? Being great at juggling with these amazing talents, right? That makes that makes the world a place, right? That makes this whole thing, this whole endeavor called life worth living, I feel. At least in my opinion, it is. Like, art is the ultimate frontier. Love is the ultimate key to happiness, and control over your instruments is the ultimate definition of success. If you have control over your instruments and you are fully knowledgeable of what you do and you have the privilege to implement it every day, there is no bigger factor that determines success rather than having that power to be completely in charge of your system, of your operational system. So to everyone listening to this, take control, charge of your life, and enjoy this incredible privilege. Pat says, I find confidence needs to be learned by blunt force. It sucks to have to force yourself to persevere, but deep confidence comes from beating stressful situations, for sure. I totally understand that it sucks sometimes. I mean, like working out, exercising, rehearsing, playing an instrument, and there are some days where you just don't feel like it, right? But it doesn't matter. You will find beauty even in those moments where you started from a point where, oh no, I don't feel like doing it today, but you're arriving at a point where you feel like it's good that I did it today, right? Because this is usually the moment where you learn the most, when it's the hardest to do, not when it's the easiest to do. Yes, thank you, Chad. Thank you, Pat, also for this very insightful and deep comment. I love that. Thank you, Sonia, like I said, Laura, Alina, and everybody else, Simona, for being out here tonight. Thank you so much to Will for being such a sparkling and impulsive and beautiful speaker, motivational speaker. Definitely check us out. Readytoperform.com is there for you guys to give you that confidence, to build your tools, to gain control over your instruments, because that is the ultimate definition of success. It's not the accolades, it's not the money, it's not the fame, it's being in charge of your game. And if you are looking for a great masterclass to show you how to do that, once you got those instruments, how to then play the game, then join us on our next episode of Audition Tips Volume 3. It's the closure of the Trinity. It's happening on Zoom live. So tickets you can find them on Eventbrite, or down here in the description, or through my link tree on Instagram, where you definitely can jump, every time, and also subscribe to my other social media outlets such as Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, and also to my Telegram channel to get also some artsy and some personal updates as well. The masterclass is a great opportunity just also hang out together, network, learn new stuff, right? Even if you're not necessarily a performer, we're all living in a world where we're audition every day. So therefore, this information might come in handy, because there is a negotiation that is coming up. There is definitely some sort of an audition, coming up. There's, for each and every one of us, there's always like some sort of there's always like a threshold where you have to prove your presence. There's always a mark that you have to kind of, overstep. And sometimes you need those little, insights and experience nuggets in order to kind of, create a mindset that is winning, that is full of confidence, because it will deliver to you the tools that you can practice in order to tackle these very important missions. And if you're happening to be a performer, then even more so, you're more than welcome to join us on this wonderful occasion. It's Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just a great way to get new knowledge into your system, to become better as a performer, to nail the audition, and maybe like Goodwill over here, be part of an incredible movie directed by Christopher Nolan, right? It's just how life goes, right? This is our acting life. So thank you so much, creative community. It's been a blast. See you next Tuesday with Dragon Slayer commentaries. We're going to have another epic episode of our, Greek mythology breakdown. It's going to be the Battle of Troy, I believe. Yeah. We said that. I'm going to do a great drawing, I hope, in the meanwhile. And Dragon Slayer is preparing like crazy to get his knowledge in his head. And so therefore, we're going to have a geek meltdown on Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch me Saturday on Saturday Night Hypnosis, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The panel is going to be on fire. It's gonna be a surprise. We have an incredible guest this Saturday. It's really amazing stuff. It's gonna be, I think, our greatest stream ever. I'm not joking here. It's gonna be our 81st episode. So it's us hanging out together now for 18 months. So this is definitely gonna be a celebration time, and with a very special guest. So make sure to jump over to, jump and stop by at Hypnotic's YouTube channel on Saturday as well. And yes, I think now, after all, you're ready to perform.